Hey everyone, it's Brave here again. I hope everyone's well. So, I just want to talk today about the fact that we are spiritual beings in a human vessel, a human vehicle. Our human body is just the vehicle that carries our spiritual being, our soul, the person we really are around. So, obviously, people don't always realize that when they die, their soul, their spirit, the spiritual being you are, will leave this vehicle, which is your body, and go home back to the spirit realm, which is where we originally came from before we were born into this life. Because Earth is just an Earth school that we actually choose to come down to and choose to be born into a specific life plan where we go through harsh lessons, harsh situations in order to learn these lessons, and then it evolves our soul when we die and go back home. So, one thing that I noticed when I was younger, like I wasn't able to recall many of my past lives when I was a kid, but when I got older, I would have a lot of deja vu. I would see a pocket watch, or I don't know, like something from the olden days. And I mean, I already loved history, really, really loved history from a young age. I was reading huge books, huge volumes of books at like 7 years old without being told to do it. And I could read and write. I was very intelligent, and I learned really fast. So I always felt deja vu with certain historical objects. I loved museums, I also had psychic gifts, so I could receive messages from the spirit world, and sometimes messages about the future. Sometimes you would get visions and things about things that are going to happen that you needed to know about, or if there was something, I don't know, it was like very interesting. Like I didn't really feel scared of it because I thought everyone had these gifts. So I always felt really connected to everything and everyone. Like I couldn't understand why that was. I didn't just feel connected to me and my family and my community, racially or culturally. It was like I always felt like it wasn't just me and my family or my people. It was I had to include the whole world in my thoughts for some weird reason. It was really strange. Now I'm older, I understand why I felt that way. And that was because being an empath and a spiritual being and having psychic gifts, you can literally feel the collective's feelings. So even if that's like, if the world is going through a lot of stress, like when COVID happened, that was extremely stressful. I could literally feel that collective doom and gloom and fear, and it was definitely fear. The biggest feeling was fear and panic, obviously. And it's like other people would only care about themselves or their family group. And at first I thought, it's weird, why should I focus on everyone else, because everyone else is so self-centered. But I never wanted to be self-centered, but it always felt weird to me. Like I could sense, when something bad was going to happen, even in the community, even in the world. Like I would have a doom and gloom feeling, like something bad's going to happen, something's coming, something bad, we're going to experience something bad in the world. And then something bad would come up on the news, and I couldn't explain how or why I knew this was going to happen. And it's like, yeah, it's very interesting. But I also noticed that when people say, you got to create your own reality, you have to try and turn your pain into power and stuff like that. Yeah, that's great advice, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? I mean, yes, we are not our pain, we are not our depression, we are unlimited, powerful people with unlimited potential. We are a spiritual being in a human vehicle. So, you know, I wish people were allowed to have their past life memories, but because we don't know anything about our decision to come down here from the spirit world to plan out these life plans and to include all these difficult, painful things to go through so that it evolves our soul and ascends our soul quicker when we go home. It's like when yeah, like if we had those memories, I feel like that would help us. Like some people are able to recall their past life memories and think and feel the memories of the person they were in the last life. You could have had multiple past lives, but the reason we're not supposed to have those memories, we're kind of given a sort of amnesia, is so that we can focus on this stupid, horrible life, which, you know, it annoys me sometimes when I think that, okay, well, I've picked this life, but I'm angry that I picked this life because why did I have to be so brave and pick such a terrible life? Because obviously in the spirit world, we're brave, noble, honorable souls, and we haven't gone through the trauma yet. We're just up there living in love and light, happy. So when we look down and say, oh, if I go down there, oh, I'll experience pain and misery and betrayal, but it will evolve me up here. I'll gain, almost like in a video game, power points and become more powerful, but not for negative. You're not evolving your power of your energy for any negative, greedy reason. It's all for positive reasons. But it's just weird, isn't it? How when you're up there, it's also matter of fact. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll pick that life. Oh, that, okay, right. The woman called Brave. Oh, she's gonna be beaten by a family between age 7 to 15 really violently. Oh, okay, yeah, I can deal with that. I'm brave. Oh, and then she's gonna end up in a terrible marriage that's abusive and cruel. Oh, okay, yeah, I can handle that, no problem. Um, oh, and then she's gonna just struggle for the first 50 years of her life. But oh, after age 50 she's going to get everything, every reward she deserves for completing her test, for, you know. But and however, obviously me up in the spirit world not going through that stress thought no problem, but then now me being down here stuck in this meat puppet body, having to actually physically go through the pain and trauma and the psychological pain and trauma non-stop for the first 50 years of my life. I mean, I'm not 50 yet. I'm much younger than that, but it's like, yeah, it's like weird how like two different psychics I saw, because I have psychic power, psychic gifts too, but I sometimes like to go to other psychics who are more powerful than me and see what they say, and they'll always pick up on my gifts, and I, you know, they'll tell me stuff. And years ago when I was younger, because I'm like still in like late 30s, and then when yeah, like when we had what was it, yeah, when we had this session, me and two different ladies, they were Scottish, and I actually was up in Scotland at the time, and one lady, she was super sweet. She was like, oh, I don't even want to tell you this. And I went, no, tell me, it's okay. I want to know everything, the good and the bad. So she goes, well, what I see is that, and she asked me my age, and at the time I was in my early sort of, well, mid 20s. And then she was like, oh, well, from what I see, your life plan you've picked is full of hardship until you're like 50. And then after 50, you will have happiness and joy, and everything you prayed for will come after that age. And I went, what the? So I was furious, like, no, this can't be true. Like, why would I pick that? Why would I? But when you're up there in the spirit world and you're not actually going through it, you're just looking at the life plan, you know, almost like writing a Shakespeare play. Like, okay, I need someone to play my horrible husband, you know, and I look to my soul group up there and someone says, yeah, I'll play him. Okay, you're going to meet me when I'm 18. but your life plan is this horrible life plan over here where you have trauma too. So we'll be two broken people by the time we meet each other. Got it? Yeah, okay. And I need someone to play my horrible mother. Who wants to play that? My sick, narcissistic, sadistic mother. Oh, and the father as well. He also will be a sick, malignant narcissist who is sadistic and violent. Who wants to play that couple? And so, you're going through all this matter of fact planning. But the sad thing is, when you come down here, it is so traumatic, so horrific. You're lucky if you don't take yourself out here. I mean, I do recognize, though, that I've been given extra strength that other people don't appear to have. Like, I've been through such terrible things that I really thought would end me or made me want to end me. And I managed to get through. And I can't even believe I got through. And yet, other people, when I describe my life to them, they're like, whoa, I would have jumped off a bridge. And then I realized that, wow, most people wouldn't last 2 minutes in my shoes. Like, it's obvious I've been given extra strength in order to deal with this life that I've chosen, which is extra painful, and like how people say God won't give you more than you can handle, even though it does feel sometimes that the things that are happening to you are just so horrific, so awful. You can't understand why these things are happening to you. And people will get angry and ask God and say, why are you letting these things happen to me? Even though they don't realize that some of this horrific stuff is fated, is in our destiny plan, in our life plan. It's already been written, it's already been chosen. Some of it we agreed to. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to believe. Even I have trouble believing it, even though I know it's true. Even though my psychic gifts and visions and messages have been shown to me that all of this is true, but even I can't understand why did I have to be so brave? Why did I have to pick such a horrible life? And there were other lives I had that weren't as horrible. There was a past life I had in the Roman days, and the husband I had back then, he's my best friend in this life. So even though we tried to date and be together, but it only we ended up just being friends in this life. But funnily enough, me and him had a baby boy in the Roman days. And then his parents, who are in this life as his parents, they were his parents in that life. And they look the same and he looks the same, but I look different in this life. So they had chosen the same bodies, but I chose a different body. And yeah, it's very interesting. And even what was it? Yeah, even the soulmate guy from New Zealand, uh, who I definitely think we were twin flames or something. Because even though people can be your soulmate, they don't have to be a romantic or sexual or husband or wife type thing. You can have a soul tribe, a soul group where they are just people who, like I said, you all knew each other in the spirit world, and they said, I'll come and help you in this life you're gonna be born into. I'll be your best friend in this life, or I'll play your parent in this life, even if it's a negative role. But then when you die and go home and you all see each other, there's no hate because you all plan this. It's like if you all were part of a Shakespeare play and you all had to play your part. So, when people have wronged me and I feel like I hate them, when I get to a place of not that I forgive them, but when I get to a place of I feel nothing anymore. I feel nothing for you. I've no love, no hate. It's almost like what's that word? Ambivalent. Ambivalent. I feel ambivalent. I don't hate you. I don't love you. I feel nothing. I would rather get to that stage than just be hating and hating and hating and wishing bad on you. Like to me, once I get past to the when I get past the hating stage and the taking revenge stage to the just you don't exist to me, I don't care. I prefer that because I have to remind myself that things didn't work because they were never meant to work. It wasn't written that way. It was meant to happen. This betrayal, this disrespect, this whatever it was, you have to tell yourself when something didn't work out, just say out loud to yourself, it didn't work because it was never meant to work. It was never destined to work. Even though you tried to use your free will to force it to work, to force it to be what you wanted it to be or whatever, if it's not destined to be that way, if it wasn't how you planned it in your life plan, if it wasn't written in the fate, whatever, you can't force it to work. As much as you might try with your free will to, force things, and then it pushes you off your life plan sometimes. But yeah, like when I realized that, okay, certain people were brought into my life on purpose because I chose this life plan. They just played their part. This was the moment they were supposed to enter your stage, enter the play of your life, and play their part. And they couldn't avoid playing their part even if they wanted to, because it was fated. They were supposed to come in at that time. Maybe they were supposed to cheat on you or betray you or hurt you, whatever the thing was, even if it was something terrible. And then you had to go through that terrible thing, because the strength you gained at the other side of going through that, then that evolves you when you get back home in the spirit world. It's like another thing I wanted to mention is when people fear death so much, I wish they knew that their body is just a vehicle. This body is not the real you. The real you is your soul, the person you are on the inside, not all these fake injections and makeup and fake hair and fake whatever. All this crap you do to the outside of your body means nothing, because it really is about who you are on the inside. If you're a good, decent person with integrity and dignity, kindness and compassion, those things matter. All this rubbish aesthetics on the outside, you're trying to look good for immature, superficial people, like that stuff is such a waste of time. You should be cultivating and developing and working on strengthening all the good qualities that you should be possessing. And like, if you think about, if anyone, I don't know if, yeah, I was going to say, if you drive or you don't drive, if you are a passenger and you get in a car, or if you're the driver, whatever, and you drive your car around. So the car is your body, the car is your vehicle. Sorry, did I say that right? Yeah, right, as a human being, you use vehicles called cars, and the car drives you around. When you get inside the car, you and the car are like one, right? Because you're controlling the car. The car is doing what you are programming it to do. You're controlling the car. So your body is the car, and your soul, is like you inside the car driving the car. I hope I made that more clearer. And then when you get home after you've been controlling your vehicle all day, you get home and you get out of your vehicle and you go into your home, wherever that may be. So I'm trying to make the connection and explain that when you die, you don't end up like in the ground and cease to exist. Your soul never dies. Your soul is infinite energy. You never die. You just go home. The same way how when you're in your car and you park outside your house and you get out of the car and you go inside the house, as in you're going home. So you're now not in the vehicle anymore. Do you understand what I mean? So now you're safe and sound, you're just not in the vehicle anymore. You're now home. So yeah, I hope that I explained that correctly. When you die, you leave your vessel, your vehicle, which is your body, and the real you, the spiritual you, goes home, which is the spirit realm where you came from in the first place. That's why this earth doesn't feel right sometimes. I never felt at home down here on this earth. I always felt like this doesn't feel right. I feel like I belong somewhere else. And I always used to have a yearning for a home, but I didn't know where the home was, and that's because I was yearning to go home to the spirit world, because earth is not our real home. So yeah, but I'm just going to do a part 2 to this, so I'm just going to stop this one here. Bye for now.